My name is Megan Foster. I'm 32 years old. And I've been waiting for my mother for 25 years. I was 7 years old when she walked out that door. She said she was going to the store. She said she would be right back. She kissed my forehead. She told me to be good for Daddy. And then she was gone. I remember every detail of that morning. The way her hair was tied back in a loose ponytail. The blue sweater she wore even though it was summer. The sound of her keys jingling as she picked them up from the kitchen counter. I stood at the window and watched her walk down the driveway. She turned around once and waved. I waved back. I didn't know that was the last time I would ever see her wave. At least, that's what I believed for 25 years. Please, before I tell you what actually happened, take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Tell me in the comments, if your parent disappeared tomorrow, how long would you wait before you stopped believing they were coming back? Now, let me tell you about the morning my mother went to buy groceries and never came home. I was 7 years old. My father was at work. My mother was supposed to be watching me. That's what made what happened next so confusing for so many years. She made me breakfast that morning. Scrambled eggs. Toast with strawberry jam. The same thing she made every Tuesday because Tuesday was her easy day, she used to say. I remember sitting at the table, swinging my legs because they didn't reach the floor. I remember asking her if we could go to the park later. She said yes. She always said yes. Then she looked at the refrigerator. She opened it. She frowned. We're out of milk, she said. And bread. I'll run to the store really quick. I asked if I could come with her. She hesitated. I remember that hesitation so clearly now. It was only a second. Maybe 2. But something flickered across her face. Stay here, she said. I'll be right back. 10 minutes. 15 at most. I ran to the window anyway. I always ran to the window when she left. I don't know why. Maybe I was already afraid, even then. Maybe some part of me already knew. She turned at the end of the driveway. She waved. I waved back. She smiled. And then she walked around the corner. And I never saw her smile again. Not for 25 years. I waited by that window for an hour. Then 2 hours. Then 3. My father came home from work at 5:47 p.m. I remember the exact time because I had been counting the minutes on the clock above the television. Where's your mother? He asked. She went to the store, I said. She said she'd be right back. My father called the store. They said she had been there. She bought milk and bread and a pack of gum. Then she left. And no one had seen her since. They filed a missing person report that night. A police officer came to our house. He asked me questions I didn't understand. What was she wearing? Was she acting strange? Did she seem sad? I didn't know how to answer. I was 7. To me, she seemed like my mom. The same mom who tucked me in every night. The same mom who kissed my scraped knees. The same mom who promised she would never leave me. But she did leave me. And for 25 years, I didn't know why. The weeks after she disappeared were the hardest. My father stopped eating. He stopped sleeping. He sat by the phone every night, waiting for a call that never came. The police searched for 3 months. They put her picture on the news. They interviewed neighbors. They checked hospitals and bus stations and airports. Nothing. Then the case went cold. That's what they call it when they stop looking. Cold. As if a human being could just freeze in time and disappear forever. I went back to school 2 weeks after she left. My teacher was kind. Too kind. She looked at me with pity in her eyes, and I hated it. I didn't want pity. I wanted my mother. The other children asked questions. Where is your mom? Did she run away? Did she die? I didn't have answers. So I stopped talking about her altogether. At night, I made up stories in my head. Maybe she had amnesia. Maybe she was kidnapped. Maybe she was in a hospital somewhere, fighting to remember who she was. I wrote her letters every birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. I'm 8 now. I lost my first tooth. Happy birthday, Mom. I'm 10 now. I got straight A's. Happy birthday, Mom. I'm 12 now. I got my first period and I didn't know who to tell. I kept every letter in a shoebox under my bed. I never mailed them because I didn't know where to send them. But writing them made me feel like she was still out there. Still listening. Still my mother. When I was 14, my father finally stopped waiting by the phone. He started dating again. I hated him for it at first. How could he move on? How could he look at another woman when my mother was still missing? But now I understand. He wasn't moving on. He was surviving. He was trying to fill a hole that nothing could fill. And nothing ever did. I stopped believing she was alive when I turned 16. That was the year I realized that if she wanted to come home, she would have come home by then. So either she couldn't, or she didn't want to. Both options destroyed me in different ways. So I stopped writing letters. I stopped waiting by windows. I stopped looking for her face in crowds. I graduated high school without her. I went to college without her. I got my first job without her. I fell in love, got my heart broken, fell in love again, all without her. I built a life. A small life. A quiet life. But it was mine. And I told myself I was fine. I told myself I didn't need her anymore. I told myself so many lies that I almost believed them. But every time I passed a woman on the street who had the same hair color, the same walk, the same way of tilting her head, my heart stopped. Just for a second. Just long enough to hope. And then it started again, heavier than before. That was my life for 25 years. A series of almost moments. Almost seeing her. Almost finding her. Almost getting closure. But never quite. Until last Tuesday. Last Tuesday was a normal day. I had finished work early. I needed milk. That's the kind of cosmic irony I still can't wrap my head around. My mother left to buy milk. And 25 years later, I left to buy milk. And that's how I found her. I walked into the corner store on 5th and Main. The same store my mother walked into 25 years ago. I didn't plan that. I didn't even realize it until later. I just went there because it was close. I grabbed a carton of milk from the cooler. Then I walked toward the register. There was a woman in line ahead of me. She was buying milk too. And bread. And a pack of gum. I remember thinking, that's strange. The exact same things my mother bought. But I didn't think anything of it. People buy milk and bread and gum every day. That's not a sign. That's just Tuesday. Then she turned to look at something outside the window. And I saw her face. My hands went numb. The milk carton slipped from my fingers and hit the floor. It didn't break. But it made a sound, a dull thud, and the woman turned toward me. It was her. 25 years. 25 years of wondering. 25 years of grief and anger and confusion. 25 years of writing letters that never got sent. And she was standing 6 feet away from me, buying milk. She recognized me. I saw it happen. Her eyes widened. Her hand went to her chest. She took a small step backward. Megan, she whispered. She said my name. After 25 years of silence, she said my name like no time had passed at all. Like she hadn't missed my birthdays. Like she hadn't missed my graduation. Like she hadn't missed everything. I couldn't speak. I couldn't move. I couldn't do anything except stand there and stare at the woman who had destroyed my childhood and then had the audacity to look surprised to see me. I can explain, she said. I didn't want her to explain. I wanted her to suffer. I wanted her to feel even a fraction of the pain I had felt every single day for 25 years. I ran. I ran down the street. I ran around the corner. I ran until my lungs burned and my legs gave out. And then I collapsed against a wall and I sobbed. I sobbed for the little girl who waited by the window. I sobbed for the teenager who threw away her shoebox of letters. I sobbed for the adult who had convinced herself she was fine. And then I stopped sobbing. And I got angry. She wasn't there when I got back. The cashier said she left about 2 minutes after I ran out. He said she looked upset. Good. I wanted her to be upset. I wanted her to feel what I felt. But I wasn't going to let her disappear again. Not this time. I had spent 25 years wondering. I wasn't going to spend 25 more. I asked everyone on that block if they knew her. The woman in the blue sweater. The woman with the brown hair. The woman who bought milk on Tuesday afternoons. An old woman in a greenhouse pointed to a street 2 blocks away. She lives over there, she said. The yellow house. Been there for about 10 years now. 10 years. She had been living 2 streets away from me for 10 years. 2 streets. That's a 5-minute walk. That's how close she was while I was crying myself to sleep. While I was celebrating birthdays without her. While I was becoming a person she would never know. I walked up to the front door. My hand was shaking. My whole body was shaking. I knocked 3 times. She opened the door. She had changed her clothes. A different sweater. Her hair was brushed. She looked like she had been crying too. "Megan," she said again. Softer this time. "Don't," I said. "Don't say my name like you have the right to say it." She didn't argue. She just opened the door wider and said, "Please. Let me explain. And then if you want to leave and never speak to me again, I'll understand." I shouldn't have gone in. Every instinct told me to walk away. To protect myself. To preserve the anger that had kept me warm for 25 years. But I needed to know. I needed to understand. I needed her to look me in the eyes and tell me why. We sat in silence for a full minute. Maybe 2. I counted the photographs on her wall. There were pictures of people I didn't recognize. A man. 2 children. A dog. A whole life she had built without me. "I never stopped loving you," she began. "Don't," I said again. "Don't start with that. If you loved me, you wouldn't have left. If you loved me, you would have come back. If you loved me." "I was scared," she said. "Your father." "My father what?" "My father told me you were dead. My father raised me alone. My father worked 3 jobs so I could have a roof over my head. Don't you dare blame him for this." "He wasn't your father," the woman said. "What?" Megan whispered. "The man you call your father," she said slowly. "The man who raised you. The man who told you I was dead." She paused. "He's not your real father. And he's the reason I had to leave. It was a restraining order. Filed 25 years ago. The day after she disappeared. The petitioner was my mother. The respondent was my father. He told you I left for groceries," she said quietly. "But I left because he was going to kill me. He wasn't like that when we first met," she continued. "He was kind. Gentle. He made me laugh. But something changed after you were born. He got jealous. Possessive. He didn't want me to have friends. He didn't want me to leave the house. The week before I left, he broke my rib. I told everyone I fell down the stairs. But you saw it, Megan. You were only 6, but you saw him push me. Do you remember?" I did remember. I had buried it so deep I thought I had forgotten. But I remembered. The shouting. The crash. My mother crying on the kitchen floor. "I couldn't take you with me," she said. "He would have found us. He would have hurt you to hurt me. The only way to keep you safe was to make him believe I was gone. And the only way to make him believe that was to actually disappear." "You let me believe you abandoned me," Megan whispered. "For 25 years, you let me hate you. Because if you hated me, you wouldn't come looking for me. And if you didn't come looking for me, he wouldn't find you. And if he didn't find you, you would be safe. I watched you from a distance," the mother admitted. "Every year on your birthday, I stood across the street from your school. I saw you grow up. I saw you graduate. I saw you become the woman you are today. And I wanted to run to you every single time." "Why now?" Megan asked. "Why let me find you now?" "Because he died last month. Your father, the man who raised you, he died. And for the first time in 25 years, you're safe. We're both safe." I didn't forgive her that day. I couldn't. 25 years of believing I had been abandoned doesn't disappear in one conversation, no matter how many tears are shed. She had kept my letters. Every single one. She had been following my life from the shadows, collecting pieces of me like treasures she wasn't allowed to touch. "I wrote you letters too," my mother said. "I never sent them. But I wrote them." She handed me a box of her own. Dozens of envelopes. "Happy birthday, Megan. I'm sorry I missed your first day of school. Happy birthday, Megan. I saw you get your braces off. You looked beautiful. Happy birthday, Megan. I'm so proud of the person you're becoming. I don't know if I'll ever fully forgive her. I don't know if I'll ever get back the 25 years I lost. But I do know one thing. She didn't leave because she stopped loving me. She left because she loved me too much to put me in danger. And sometimes, the most painful kind of love is the kind that makes you walk away. I still live 2 streets away. But now, when I pass the yellow house, I don't look away. I wave. And sometimes, not always, but sometimes she waves back.